Let's see. So basically, sitting on your mat, putting the soles of your feet together, opening your legs wide, and then just coming down on your back. So you can press your hands to open your thighs a little bit if you like. You can place your hands on your stomach, feeling the breath. If you want, you can place your hands, palms open to the sky. And just close your eyes and focus on your breath here as we kind of get away from all the craziness that's life. And just focus on breathing in and out. Trying to keep your inhales and exhales the same. So if you inhale for a count of 3, exhaling for a count of 3. And as you inhale, feeling your chest expand, your lungs, all the way to your stomach on your inhale. And as you exhale, feeling that energy release out slowly from your stomach all the way to your lungs coming out of your mouth. Inhale and exhale. And today's class will focus on obviously the breath and just kind of connecting that to the movement. So as you go through, trying to link your breath as you move into each posture. And we'll take a few collective breaths together to start class. So inhaling through the nose, feeling your chest expand. Open your mouth, exhale, releasing that breath, feeling everything deflate down. Inhaling through the nose, filling your chest, your stomach, and open your mouth to exhale, letting everything go. And continue to return to your regular breath. And then slowly bring your knees together and bring them into your chest for a big hug. So you can rock side to side to release any tension in the spine. You can rock and roll forward and back, whichever feels good for you. And when you're ready, however you need to get there, wherever you rock and roll, or come up to a tabletop position. So placing your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, and you have a neutral spine. So on an inhale, drop your belly, lift the gaze, coming into a cow. And on an exhale, rounding the spine, arching the back. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. And exhale, rounding the spine like an angry cat. And inhale, coming into our cow, dropping the belly. And exhale, rounding the spine. Take a few more at your own pace to just warm up the spine, warm up the body, releasing any tensions we're holding. And when you're ready, coming back to a neutral spine and stepping back into your first downward dog of the day. So trying to bring your head between your arms. Your gaze should be towards the back of your feet. Focus on a point, maybe on the wall or on your mat, to keep your gaze focused on whenever you come to this position. You can walk out your dog, bending one knee at a time, stretching out the calves and the hamstrings. You can wag your tail, moving from side to side, whatever feels good for you today. And slowly walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat, keeping your feet hip width apart, staying rolled over, but grabbing one elbow with each hand and coming to a ragdoll position. So releasing your neck, releasing your head. You can shift side to side here. If it feels good, you can bend one knee, straighten the other, and switch. And releasing your hands to the floor, placing the soles of your feet into the palm of your hand so that your toes are reaching the crease on the palm, and bending down to come into our gorilla pose. Your gaze can be forward towards the top of the mat. You should feel a nice stretch. You can straighten out your legs if you like, whichever feels good for you. And releasing your hands, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae with your head the last to come up, coming to the top of your mat, feet together, palms facing forward into our Tadasana or our mountain pose as we start class. And to warm up, we'll go into some half sun A's. So on an inhale, lift your palms to the sky, palms facing inward. On an exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, reaching for your toes. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, hands on your shins. On an exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. Inhaling again, bring your palms up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, releasing your hands to the mat. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, palms to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back, hands on your shins. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart and center. So from here, we'll add on to do a modified sun A. So on an inhale, palms to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to your high plank. So in your high plank, try to keep your core engaged. Your core will help keep this pose strong and also control your center of gravity. Taking a few breaths here. Making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Dropping your knees to the mat, releasing the toes, and exhaling yourself down to a belly shavasana. So bringing your third eye to the mat. Keeping your hands where they are, which are underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to peel the chest up off the floor to a baby cobra. Exhale, releasing it down. Inhale, peeling the chest up from the mat into a baby cobra. And exhale, releasing it down. Inhale, one more time, peeling it up into a baby cobra. Lifting your chest up ever so slightly, keeping your gaze forward. And on exhale, tucking your toes and stepping back into your downward facing dog. So you can walk it again here. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Feet together. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, hands on your shins. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. Taking a few breaths here, you should start to feel warm. Inhale, palms to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back to that high plank position. On an inhale, shift forward about an inch. And on an exhale, bring your elbows to 90 degrees in chaturanga. You can drop to your knees if you need to. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So that's the vinyasa part of class that we'll come to a lot. So if any time that feels too much or you just don't feel like doing another one, you can always meet us in downward facing dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms in the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. We'll go through that one more time, a sun A salutation. So inhale, palms in the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, release your head. Inhale, hands on your shins, half lift, flat back. Exhale, stepping back into your high plank. On an inhale, shift forward about an inch. Exhale, coming down for your vinyasa or opting to meet us in downward facing dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your palms up to the sky. And exhale, release your hands back to heart and center. So your body should start to feel warm, which is the purpose of these sun salutations. From here, we'll move into sun B salutations. So on an inhale, bring your hands by your ears, sitting back into your invisible chair. So as you're in your invisible chair, you should still be able to see your toes underneath your knees. On an exhale, we're going to open up the right arm to the back of the mat. So you have airplane arms. Your gaze can look back towards your right hand. Taking a few breaths here. Perhaps you can sink a little bit deeper in your chair. Exhale, bring your hands back to center. And on your next exhale, bring your left hand, opening it back to the mat. And your gaze can follow. Again, seeing if perhaps you can sink a little bit deeper. Feeling your quads engage here. Exhale, bring your hands back into chair. Sink a little bit deeper. And exhale, straighten your legs, release, bring your hands forward to your feet. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. And exhale, stepping back for your high plank, coming into your vinyasa. Or if you don't feel like that, coming to meet us in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky to three-legged dog. And on an exhale, kicking your right foot over to the left side of the mat to open up your hip here. You can give your ankle a few rolls. Straightening your leg, coming back to three-legged dog. And on exhale, bring your right foot outside of your right hand towards the edge of the mat, releasing your left knee, coming into our gecko pose or lizard. So your right foot should be on the edge of the mat, hands underneath your shoulders. Your left knee should be down, toes untucked, your gaze forward. You should feel a nice stretch here in your hips. So taking a few breaths here. Perhaps you are a little bit more flexible or you want a deeper stretch, you can come down to your forearms. If your foot lifts a little bit off the floor and your leg opens a little bit wider, that's okay too. So breathing here. Tucking the toes on the back foot, stepping back for a never vinyasa or meeting us in downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your left leg to the sky in a three-legged dog. On an exhale, kicking your left leg open to the right side to open up your left hip. You can give yourself a few ankle rolls here if that feels good. Feeling that hip open up. Coming back in a three-legged dog. On an exhale, placing your left foot outside of your left hand, releasing your right leg to the mat, and bring your hands underneath your shoulders, coming into our gecko again. Here, if you want a deeper stretch, again, you can come down to your forearms, feeling that nice stretch in your hips on the left side. Taking a few breaths here, breathing into that stretch. Trying to send energy to your hip. Tucking your right toes, stepping back for another vinyasa, or opting to meet us in downward facing dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release down. Inhale, sweeping your arms up by your ears, sitting back in the invisible chair. And exhale, straighten your legs, release, hands to heart and center. We'll go through that one more time. So on an inhale, sitting back in your invisible chair, arms by your ears. Breathing here. Bring your hands to heart and center. Hooking your left elbow over to your right knee, taking a twist into our twisted chair. So as you twist, trying to bring your hands to your heart and trying not to sink in to your left elbow, meanwhile maintaining that chair position that we have. Breathing here. Exhale, releasing back to chair. Bring your hands again back to heart and center and taking a twist, bring your right elbow to your left knee and twisting here. Again, trying to make sure you're not falling into your right elbow and trying to bring your hands to the center of your heart. Exhale, releasing back to chair. Breathing here. And exhale, straighten your legs, release, fold forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back for a vinyasa. So into your high plank, up dog, down dog, or meeting us in down dog. Breathing here. On an inhale, bring your right leg to the sky to free-legged dog. On an exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Inhale, back to free-legged dog. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, back to free-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, taking a twist. Inhale, back to free-legged dog. And on your exhale, plant your right foot between your hands. Release your back knee, keeping your hips forward. Inhale your arms up to come into a low lunge. On an exhale, open the arms up to cactus them, opening the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your right heel on the mat, straightening out your right leg to come into your half split. As you come into half split, trying to make sure that your hips are over your knees here and feeling that nice hamstring stretch. And again, your hips should be forward here. If you are very flexible and you want a bit of a challenge, you can always come to your full split. Planting your right foot down, inhaling your arms back up into the low lunge. Exhale, bring them back down the mat and stepping back into your half split again, feeling that stretch. Coming back into the low lunge position, inhaling your arms up. Perhaps it feels good for you to take a bind. So if it's available to you, you can grab your left toes of your right arm if that's available to you to take a bind. Bring the hands back down to the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale, bring your left foot to the sky. On an exhale, bring your left knee to your nose. Inhale, left foot to the sky, three-legged dog. Bring left knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, taking that twist. Inhale to three-legged dog. Exhale, planting your left foot between your hands, releasing your right knee. Inhaling your arms up into a low lunge position. Breathing here. On an exhale, cactus the arms to open the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. On exhale, bring them back down to the mat. Bring your left heel out in front of you, straightening your left leg to come into your half split. So feeling that nice stretch on the left side now of your hamstrings. Flexing your foot, folding over, keep making sure your hips are above your knees. Breathing here. Planting your left foot on the mat, inhaling your arms up, coming back into that low lunge. Exhale, bring your hands back down, placing your left heel back on the mat to come back into that half split again. Perhaps you can flex your foot a little bit deeper. You might want to reach for your toes with your fingertips. Feel a nice deep stretch. Inhale, coming back into a low lunge. Putting your left foot on the mat. If it feels good to you here, perhaps you reach back for that bind on the side as well. On an exhale, bring your hands back down on the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa. Or meeting us in down dog. Breathing here. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweeping your arms up by your ears, sitting back in that invisible chair. And exhale, release your hands back to heart and center. Inhale, bring your arms up by your ears, sitting again back in that invisible chair. Exhale, release your legs, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back for your vinyasa or meeting us in downward facing dog. Breathing here. Your body should definitely be warm now. On an inhale, lifting your right foot to the sky. Exhale, plant your right foot between your hands, flattening your left foot to the bottom of the mat. Inhale your arms up, hips forward to warrior one. So your arms up by your ears, your front leg is bent. On an exhale, release back down, bring your hands to either side of your foot, stepping back for another vinyasa, or opting to meet in downward facing dog. Because sometimes it's too many vinyasas. But that's why this is vinyasa yoga. On an inhale, lifting your left foot high to three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your left foot between your hands, dropping your back foot, inhaling your arms up into warrior one. Left foot is forward, your left knee is bent, arms up by your ears. Being a strong warrior here. On exhale, bring your hands back down the mat, step back for another vinyasa, or meeting us in down dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, sweeping your arms up by your ears, sitting back in that invisible chair. Exhale, release those hands. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips, reaching down. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back into your high plank. From here, we're actually going to shift to a side plank. So I could give you a little vinyasa break. So placing your right hand under your right shoulder, coming over to the right side. You can bend your knee if you need to, and taking a plank. If you're able to, you can stack. You can put one foot in front of the other. You can bend the right knee. Breathing here, trying to keep your core to the center of your body. So focus on that being your gravity point. Exhale, coming back to high plank. Now placing your left hand underneath your left shoulder, coming over to a side plank on your left arm. Again, you have the option to come on one knee. You can place one foot in front of the other, or you can just stack your feet. Exhale, release. Coming back to your high plank. And we'll take one more vinyasa or meet us in down dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. We're actually going to take a wide-legged stance on the long side of your mat. So feet facing forward to the long side of your mat. You can turn over to the right side. Placing your hands on your hips, we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So inhaling, lifting your chest high, head high. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Here, you can place your hands underneath your shoulders. Perhaps you might need to walk your feet a little bit wider. You can walk your hands back underneath, back towards your feet, taking a few breaths, or you can walk them out forward to kind of come into a wide-legged down dog. Breathing here. On an inhale, lifting up halfway, flat back, and exhale, slowly rolling up. Coming into warrior two with your right foot facing the back of the mat, bending to your right knee. Left foot kind of stays where it is, 85-degree angle from the front of the mat. So we're in warrior two, arms in a capital T. On an inhale, flip your right palm. On an exhale, bring it up to the sky as you reverse your warrior. Your gaze can follow your right hand here. Breathing here. On an exhale, bring your right forearm to your right knee. Inhaling your left arm long so you have a diagonal with your body from your fingertips to your toes to extended side angle on the left side. And you should feel this nice stretch in the left side of your body. Exhale, coming back to warrior two. You're still facing the back of your mat. Straightening your right leg here and shifting your back foot in about 12 inches, about a foot. Straightening both legs. On an inhale, shift your right hand forward. On an exhale, tipping your right hand to your right shin. Your left arm comes to the sky as we come into triangle pose. Trying not to fold heavily into the right side. Try to lift out of your chest here. Your gaze can follow your left hand as it goes to the sky. Breathing here, feeling that nice stretch as you open up the side. On an exhale, coming back to warrior two. You might need to change your feet a bit. Bring your feet back to face the long side of your mat, how we started. Placing your hands on your hips. On an inhale, lift up, and exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, coming into another wide-legged forward fold. So you may need to shift your legs to open them a little bit wider if you want a deeper stretch. Placing your hands on the floor if that's available. For some people, you may be able to do chaturanga arms, so bring your forearms to the floor, wherever you are today. Placing your left hand on your right shin, or by your right ankle, we're going to take a twist by lifting your right arm up to the sky, twisting the body here. Breathing into the stretch. Exhale, releasing back down. Now take walking your hands over to the other side, placing your right hand on your right ankle, left arm up to the sky to take a twist on this side. Breathing here. And release back down. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, hands on your shin. On an exhale, slowly rolling on up. And we'll turn our left foot to the front of the mat, coming into warrior two. So now you're facing the front, back where we started. Breathing here, bending into that front knee. On an inhale, flipping your left palm up. And on an exhale, reversing your warrior, lift your left palm to the sky. Gaze can follow. Breathing here. Placing your left forearm on your left knee, swing your right arm across your body to come into extended side angle on the right side. So one diagonal line from your fingertips all the way to your right toes. You can try to look under your elbow here. Exhale, coming back into warrior two, left arm forward, capital T position. Straightening your front leg, shifting your right foot forward about a foot. On an inhale, shift forward slightly. And on exhale, tip your left hand to your left shin to come into triangle pose, lifting your right arm to the sky to feel that nice side body stretch here. Breathing here. On exhale, coming back into warrior two. Cartwheeling your hands back down to the front of the mat on either side of your foot, stepping back for your last vinyasa, I promise. Coming to meet in downward dog, that's easier for you. On an inhale, lift your right foot to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right wrist, releasing your toes, releasing your back foot, your left foot, coming down to half pigeon pose. So here you can keep your hands underneath your shoulders. If it feels good for you, you can come down under your forearms. We'll be here for just over a minute, so just making sure you're comfortable no matter where you are. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, releasing your arms long, bring your third eye to the mat. And we hold a lot of tension in our hips. I think we always hear this in every class, but it is true, and no one really stretches their hips. That's why it's so important, especially when a lot of us sit down all day. So breathing here, breathing in the energy, feeling that stretch. Perhaps you want to go a little bit deeper. We've got just under 30 seconds. You could go a little bit deeper, releasing your head down or coming to your forearms. No matter where you are, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale to lift your chest, open it up, lift your head. Exhale, tucking the back feet, stepping back into downward dog. And we'll inhale the left leg up whenever you're ready. You might need to walk it up. Exhale, bring your left knee to your left wrist, untucking the toes here and coming to pigeon on the left side. So again, you have a couple options. Hands underneath your shoulders, keeping it up high. If you want a little bit deeper, coming to your forearms. And if you'd like, you can come to a sleepy pigeon, reaching your arms long, bringing your third eye to the mat, feeling that nice deep stretch. And it might feel, one side may feel a little tougher than the other, and that's completely normal. Just trying to breathe, no matter where you are today, breathing into that stretch. This is one of my favorite, this is my favorite stretch of all of them, just because it feels so good. And you'll feel the stretch later too, which, you know, if you had any hip pain or anything like that, it'll help release that. Maybe you want to sink in a little bit deeper. You definitely can now. Still making sure your hips are, you know, facing your right hip. You can try to, you know, keep that, get that as close to the mat as possible if it's not there. And no matter where you are, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lifting the chest up. And exhale, stepping back into downward facing dog again. Walking your feet out if you need to. And coming back down on the mat, coming to a seat, bringing your knees in front of you up to the sky, bringing your glutes as close as you can to your heels and laying back down. We'll take a quick bridge here just to release the hips in the opposite direction. So trying to bring your heels towards your fingers if you can, reaching them long. On an inhale, lifting your glutes up to the sky, interlacing your fingers underneath, trying to tuck your shoulders underneath your back, keeping your feet hip width apart, lifting up here, feeling your quads engage, glutes engage. Breathing into the stretch. And exhale, releasing back down. You can windshield wipe your legs side to side. Hug your knees in. And we'll take a supine twist. So bring your knees over to the right side. Your gaze can go the opposite or same direction, however you feel. And cactus your arms or bring them to a capital T. Feeling a nice stretch just to cool down the body. Breathing here. Both shoulders should be on the mat. If for some reason you can't reach both shoulders on the mat, you can always use a pillow or a block. Releasing your head back to center. Give your knees another hug. Drop them over to the left side. Cactus your arms or bring them to a capital T. Gaze can do the same thing, the opposite edge on the other side. Whether it's the same direction as your feet or in the other direction. Breathing here. Bring your head back to center. Knees back into your chest. And before we enter our last pose, you can take whatever pose you need, whether it's waterfall, happy baby, whatever you need to complete your practice today. When you're ready, extend your legs long as we come into Shavasana. Extend your legs long, let your feet turn out, open your palms up to the sky, close your eyes, and connect with your breath again here. As we enter our final and yet most important pose of class,